Family, what's up? I came across the gym. I came across a gym. Um, I said it in the video. What if this dude was protecting this woman? But like I said in that same video, you got to think about the scenario. Megan, Kelsey, you get to this party and you're thinking about what you're thinking about because they said that he was flirting with somebody. And then this situation happens. Listen, maybe he felt guilty because he was the reason that they were arguing. I don't think too many people thought about that. They were just gone with the clickbait titles and all of that stuff to the point where they ignored the facts. Anyway, I feel like Tory tried to save both of them, but I feel like he more so saved Kelsey because that was his, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's check this video out and check out this call from Jason Lee. Let's get it.
So what if I told you the way that the Tory Lanez case has been happening, the way you're viewing the Tory Lanez case could be totally wrong. Jason Lee of Hollywood Unlocked released some of his conversation via text message with Tory Lanez that might have you think of this case and all parties involved in a totally different way. What if Tory Lanez was not protecting one, but two black women by taking the fall? Megan, Kelsey, you got some explaining to do.
Tory DM'd me some time ago. I never like to put receipts out, but let me go ahead and just pull it
Man,
out.
free him.
I'm going to tell you exactly what Tory said to me. Hold on. Tory Lanez. Let me go back to the pre-stabbing dates. Hold on.
Oh, God.
So this is recent. You got stabbed a couple days ago.
Okay. In a text message between Tory and I said, yo. He said, what's good? I said, how you surviving that bullshit? Wish we could have sat down before you left. Because you know me and him hung out with Madonna when they were messing around. Don't believe me? Take a look at this photo.
Really? Okay.
I said, do you have a number? He said,
Madonna.
what's yours? Let me move on to the text messages now. Then we started to text message each other. I said, how are you? How you been? He said, incredible, in very high spirits and preparing to physically come home this year. I said, when? I need to come in there and get an interview, LOL. He said, I can't say exact days, but I know I'll be home this year. I said, how long you been gone? I'm so confused by your case. He said, actually, I have a crazy plan when I get back that I think you should know and be a part of because I'm only going to do one interview. And he said he's been gone 2.5 years. I said, I want to be a part of that plan. He said, it's honestly a bunch of suppressed evidence that was kept away from me during trial. I said, Wack told me that, but didn't say what. He said, like through trial, they keep saying it was inconclusive on the gun DNA, but I always knew I never touched the gun. So I asked my lawyer to retest it. And sure enough, I was 102% excluded completely from everything, just like I said. I said, well, why didn't you just say who did it? Doing time for something you ain't do. He said, I took the rap for Kelsey, never wanted her to go to jail, and I never wanted Megan to get hurt or anything. So in me stopping her from getting shot, I got the raw deal. Crazy how life works. And to think they made me the poster boy for the unprotection of black women, when in all honesty, I protected two black women, one from getting shot and one from going to jail. Never said nothing in 8 to 10 years for them to live. It's a crazy, crazy place we live in. I said, but why you ain't just say that? When I got shot, I told. And he said, I lost my mother at 11 years old. I couldn't sleep with myself. I was the reason for taking a mother away from her kid. I just couldn't do it. Tory Lanez.
He's better than me.
And again, I truly believe if Tory Lanez is innocent, he should be freed and he should be compensated for time that he was wrongly convicted.
Absolutely.
But I also believe the person who pulled the trigger, that person should go to jail. And if Meg conspired to set him up and lie on him, of course she should do time. But I'm just saying, in an instance like this, and
I don't
we
like
should, we
I
should,
don't like this long-winded
No, 'cause
explanation.
I'm
But the
saying,
word
no.
conspired is so problematic because even if she didn't know, then she doesn't know. She
But
can't say.
that's what I'm saying. So in an instance like this, we should all agree, if I'm in a situation that I did not know what happened, I shouldn't go to jail for that. Cause I wouldn't want that for you. But I'm saying if the person did lie intentionally and set the other
She
person up,
did.
she should go to
She
jail.
said-
Megan, you might be going to jail, girl.
Listen, y'all. Madonna is like a rite of passage. I feel like Madonna could be the female, take that. But I feel like she was that before him. She has been with people before Pac, all the way to Pac, and Tory. Tory, what are you doing, bro? You could that message, y'all. That's deep. That's real deep. I've seen a lot of situations where there's been a person that has tried to take the blame for a crime and the people know he really didn't do it or they didn't really do it. And they like, no, we know he did it. We're going to charge him. No, but I did it. No, you didn't. And we know you didn't do it. We're going to charge him. Yeah. What should happen if that's the case, y'all? Because there's been perjury, obstruction of justice, and probably a few more things in there if you really want to get technical with it. For real. I can almost bet Megan somewhere. Let's continue.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But it makes so much sense. Megan, this whole situation was convoluted. And what I had to say was, like, this is kind of the information that we needed. You kind of thought Tory was playing the solid role, trying to definitely protect his street credibility as an artist out here, right? He don't want to be seen as ratting on two girls, but he ends up in jail for 10 years and they let him hang. They let him hug him up out to dry. But it comes back to what I mentioned in my last video about this topic. What person needs immunity to testify, in order to testify, unless they know that there is a possibility that they will be prosecuted for participating in this trial? Kelsey had an immunity deal. He was very combative on the stand, and she got immunity. She wasn't cooperating with either side, really, but she kind of told her account of things. And I think, going into this, we were all surprised that Tory even went to jail. Like, let's be honest. The facts and the evidence that was put forth showed that the GSR wasn't on Tory, it was on Kelsey. The DNA proof that they had was inconclusive about Tory ever having touched this weapon. And then I believe it was a pink, like, the gun was even color. It was a funny color. It was a funny colored weapon. So are we to believe that this is something that Tory possessed and had on his own and was like, yeah, this hot pink. And he was out here just telling people to dance.
Now, I know the strap that he's talking about. I think it's like a SSCI or SOCI. It's some weird. It's actually a not so good firearm, but they come in all kind of colors: lime green, pink, brown, blue, sky blue, purple, turquoise, teal. They come in all them colors. What would this man be doing running around with a pink joint? Make it make sense. And that was something that came out early.
Like, Megan remembered it. It's funny how Megan was blackout drunk, like gone. You could even tell how she was stumbling after, the video that you see where she's walking on what looks like alleged glass. She literally says the most stereotypical thing, the most cartoon quotable that she could think of Yosemite Sam, Tory Lanez playing Yosemite Sam saying dance, doing some cowboys stuff. Tory Lanez ain't even from America. What do you know about cowboys? And that sounds very Texas when you think about it, too. Even though Yosemite Sam, I guess he's from Yosemite, but, Yosemite is in California. But it was the Old West. This is a quote from the Old West. I mean, culturally, is that something you would say? Even if you're trying to be cool, like Tory is always trying to be cool, like that doesn't seem like the most... that doesn't seem like the best idea for something to say when you're about to point something at somebody and say, make my day or whatever. You know what I mean? Even make my day is kind of corny. But it's not lining up. It never lined up. And that's why when we were covering it, we were saying what we were saying. Now all of this is coming out. Now you got the Bodyguard testimony that's saying that Kelsey pretty much admitted to this. So now we're going to have to go back and relitigate this thing. But like the guy said in the video, if in fact this is true, the state of California is going to be paying Tory Lanez for a very long time. A very huge amount. Because now he's been in jail and also been injured in jail. Like, this is the craziest part of it. And I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff happened right after Tory Lanez made this video. Probably not a coincidence.
What really gets me with this situation is it was so in our face. It was to the point where it was almost comical for him to be charged with everything that was revolving around a situation. Bodyguards just doing what they want to do when they're subpoenaed. Her taking the fifth, that told me everything I needed to know. And it should have told everybody else everything they needed to know. It's like, you only take the fifth when you've done something you don't want being brought up.
$1 for the NFTs, right? I sold these to my fans for $1. People came, some people bought 20, some people bought 5, some people bought 60. It doesn't matter how much you bought. It was only $1. You spent $60, you bought 60. I need y'all to understand, one of those copies right now is going for 50,000, 60,000, 60,000. Yo, my nigga, and these are sold. They're sold. Go look at the list right now and see how small the sellers list is getting. Y'all don't understand what the is going on? Y'all don't understand I just cracked the industry? Y'all don't understand I just cracked this shit? I just cracked this whole shit. It's cracked. It's over. I cracked the whole shit. It's over. It's over. No more middleman. All y'all artists out there, your label, the nigga that's telling you, yo, you gotta wait for this day on Spotify and on this. That. Nigga, it's over. Y'all gonna get paid, and your fans gonna get paid, and they gonna keep coming to you. Why? Because y'all making money together. This the digital trap house. Welcome. You're fucking welcome. We here. We here. You understand why I'm going so crazy? I can't believe I did this shit my fucking self. This may not make sense to niggas like y'all. Some of y'all niggas, it hasn't registered yet. It hasn't got there yet. It hasn't got there. Y'all niggas like, yo, why is he screaming? Come on. Understand. Look into it. Do your research. This is revolutionary. This is history in the fucking making. It's right now. I think the lowest copy right now is going for 30,000. The lowest you can sell it for. Imagine a nigga who bought 5. Imagine a nigga who spent $5. Imagine a nigga who really spent $5, my nigga. He can make 500,000 selling them for 100,000 right now, and are buying it. Have you ever sold an album for 100,000?
Powerful. I'd say some people have an interest in stopping that. He was going to change the way albums were sold. We've seen a large devaluation in the NFT market, but he said it right. That's revolutionary. And that's something that a lot of people's interests would be impacted by. seems like a good reason to stop this man in his tracks. And what better way than to throw him in jail?
But that clip y'all just saw, that's the reason for it all, in my opinion. So the streets say. Wink, wink. Anyway, that independency, acquiring your masters, independency, influence, and you got great product, and you can sing and rap. Come on. He was a gold mine. Gold mine. Blame Mary, y'all. He was a gold mine. Anyway, yeah. And then you got to look at the part where it's like, hey, Rock Nation wants you. No. Yo, hey, yo, B, holla at Meg and just tell Meg that like she likes Tory, yo. That's the rapping camel voice. Anyway, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. And that was it. Probably didn't even want to do that. But what I find funny, y'all, is they're talking this husband talk with Kelsey. How was Kelsey his chick when she supposedly has a husband? That could be what, yeah. I mean, it's already out that they were whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I'm out. Peace.